Hello and welcome to Where Am I to Go podcast. Today we are in, I guess what you would consider the motorcycle capital of the world. Everybody that knows anything about motorcycles has heard of Sturgis. And today we were traveling through Sturgis, South Dakota, and as we were traveling we stopped in at the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum and Hall of Fame. And we are here with Heidi, the curator of the museum, and she is going to take us through the museum. I have been to this museum about a year and a half ago. It was just a little bit before Sturgis, and for some reason they thought they might be too busy to really do the podcast with me. I'm not really sure why. When you have 100,000 people show up in a town of 7,000 people for a big party, I don't think it would take much preparation to get ready for that. Anyway. We are here with Heidi. Heidi's going to take us through the museum. We are here in the off season, and in fact, it's still really nice. We're here in October. The weather has been fantastic this year, but everybody's putting their motorcycles away for the winter. And
I don't know about that.
Oh, really?
But they're not. Yeah, they're definitely out riding still.
So, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to Where Am I to Go podcast, Heidi.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about your museum.
Yeah, definitely. First, I want to just make one clarification. I'm the executive director. Our curation manager isn't here today, but her name is Lacey Parson.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you're our host.
I am. So welcome to Sturgis Motorcycle Museum and Hall of Fame.
Okay. Well, as we walk into this museum, we walk into the admissions area. It's also the gift shop. You have lots of t-shirts, lots of metal plaques or signs with America's Finest, American Biker, Sturgis City Park, no bikers allowed.
Can I tell you about that one?
Yeah,
let me tell you a first story. So if you look up on our wall, let me start here by saying that in this gift shop, there is an exhibit on right now with Michael Lichter. He's a photographer.
Okay.
Very, very famous and very well known for photography at the rally, as you'll see. And one of his most famous captures was in the 1980s, 1982 to be exact. The city park was a place where bikers would camp and stay and whatever. Well, there was some discrepancy between the city and wanting to have it there, and all the cans they have to pick up, and they weren't cleaning the bathrooms, and so in retaliation the bikers burnt the porta potties down.
Oh no.
And so
that makes sense.
So ever since then there is no bikes allowed in the city park.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. That way there, once you burn the outhouse down, you don't have a pot to piss in.
Right. Now it's not clean, or there's even one there.
There's not even, okay, but the city park's still there.
The city park is still there, yeah. But that's the story behind no bikes allowed in the city park.
Well, so when people show up to the rally, they camp in a lot of the outlying areas. A lot of the farmers' fields and stuff open up. I have not had an opportunity to be to the rally myself.
Yeah, all kinds of things. So yes, there's some, there's
Linda says she has been to the rally.
Okay. Well, one of the largest campgrounds is the Buffalo Chip, and you can see up here Kid Rock is singing at one of the concerts. But they open their fields. People in town open their yards. Every place, nook and cranny you can think of. This last year we had about 450,000 bikers here for the...
450,000.
Mm-hmm. And of course
does that number keep increasing every year?
Well, they're all over the hills. You know, they come here and they go and they stay different places. It increases on key years. Like next year will be the 85th, and we'll anticipate quite a bit more on the 85th and on the 100th and on the 75th. And
okay.
Yeah. So.
That's interesting. Okay, so let's say like 1960. Do you have any idea how many people were here then?
I don't. What I can tell you is that the rally started in 1938. We have a timeline. And it started with a race that a Indian dealer owned. His name was Pappy Hoyle, and he was trying to get people to Sturgis, South Dakota. And it started with 7 people. And it just kept growing and growing. There was a couple times during the war that it went down, but it has become a phenomenon that you can't keep people away. You just can't.
Even during COVID.
Even during COVID, they were here.
They kept the rally open during COVID.
They would have come anyway.
They were coming anyway. You know, I knew a guy, I can't say know a guy. He was like 85 years old, 10, 15 years ago when I knew him, that said that he was here at the very first rally.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
he continued through about 50 of them or 60 of them. He kept coming back. But I was pretty amazed that he said that he was at the first or
one.
the second. You said how many people were at the first rally?
Seven.
Then he must have come to the second one
Maybe.
when there was maybe more than 7. But
yeah, 7 or so. There are stories upon stories upon stories of people who have come back on their 35th year, 50th year. I mean, it's something that people come back for year and year and year again.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And they ride their Harleys from 1,000 miles away, and they also trailer them.
They do both. Yep, they ride from all over, and they trailer them sometimes too.
And was there, in the early days, was it a lot of, or maybe not even so much early days, maybe 40s, 50s, 60s, was it more of a gathering for like the Hells Angels and the Gypsy Jokers and the whatever other motorcycle gangs?
You know, it's always been a place that chapters can come to as well, but it actually, when you look at pictures from way back in the day, there were children here, you know.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So I think it's always kind of been a place that it's a gathering of anybody who loves motorcycles.
And did the gangs, when they showed up, were they all peaceful and interacted?
You know, I really can't speak to that. I really don't know what it was like back in those days. But I can tell you that now you don't notice that it's happening.
Everybody's pretty... Yeah. Is it a family type gathering?
It's not a family type gathering.
Not anymore.
You don't see kids, and you don't want to see kids down here. But it's peaceful. You know, it's not crazy.
Right.
Some places are probably crazy, but I haven't been out to them, so.
Okay. And what about the local residents? Do they all leave town when the bikers hit, or do they
either
stick
leave
around
town or they're working their tail off, one or the other, right? So no, I have a board of 16 members who are all in the motorcycle industry, and they live for it. They just love it. So. Okay,
and you've got a video over here in one of the corners showing Main Street with a couple thousand bikes, it looks like.
Yeah. It's just we just have a video in our gift shop running that shows what it's like during the rally, because we have a lot of people that come from Europe or Maine or just from really far away and have never experienced anything like it. So we want them to be able to see it right there.
And they close off the main street to all cars and trucks and everything, and the only thing that's allowed is bikes.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, well, let's start going through the museum and take a look at some of the things you've got. Yeah, I kind of want to start right here before we head into the museum. Okay. With this summer we had an unveiling. Scott Jacobs is a famous motorcycle artist, and he's done quite a bit of work. And he did a painting this year. So this is his painting of Scott Parker and Jared Meese, who are both at this time this summer, they were 9-time state champions in the TT races and the flat track races. Oh, wow. And Scotty Parker is retired, so Jared was chasing the 10, and if he got 10, then they would be not tied again. So for that moment in time, they were tied, both number 1, and they were here during the rally. So they both signed the artwork. Scott Jacobs signed the artwork, and then a little bit later, Jared Meese won his 10th and retired the day after, so now he is number 1. That's a cool story. Yeah. So they have lots of races and other kinds of competitions during the Sturgis Rally. Yeah, they do. They actually this year just brought one to downtown. So like right where you see the street is broke off. The very last day they put up rails and a track and they race. Down. Drag or? TT races. So, flat track. Yep. Flat track. Wow. Yeah, it was a really fun thing to see. I'm going to have to come, even though I don't have a motorcycle. I'm just going to have to show up. You are. You don't need a motorcycle. Just for the party. You're right. Yeah. I've been to several parties. I've been to Mardi Gras and you know how to party, right? The balloon fiesta and some of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So we'll start in our custom rooms. We have 3 kind of what we call sections. We have a custom room, then we have a classic room, and then downstairs is racing and some military bikes. So we're going to start in our custom room. We have one of the largest displays of custom bikes. Most motorcycle museums don't have custom bikes. They usually have the traditional older bikes.
Right.
So we kind of love that we have these custom built bikes in here. Also with some of the biggest builders in the industry, we're walking by a Tim Skates bike, and then we have Paul Yaffe's and Donnie Smith.
Now when she's talking custom bikes, we're looking at what some people, I guess, would call choppers for the most part. It looks like they're choppers with some real fancy chrome engine work, really fancy artwork on the gas tanks.
Yeah.
The heads on this motorcycle are all inlaid. It looks like with a silver or chrome. It's got a red tank with a blue outline with gold scroll work on the inside. Just a beautiful, beautiful bike. That's a 76 Honda is what that one says.
Yeah, this one was restored in 1982 to this version, and this was kind of the way the choppers looked in that era.
Okay. And then we come on over here. This one's really colorful.
This one's crazy.
Protects riding better than Allstate. So I'm assuming that this is an insurance motorcycle.
Yeah, so this was, Rick Fairless was commissioned by Allstate motorcycle section of the Allstate to build this bike. And so it's truly tie-dyed and crazy fun, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. There's lots of color. You got yellows and blues and greens. And
if you look at it, it has eyeballs all over it. We've counted 11, and I'm sure there's more, but everywhere you see eyeballs.
And music notes and sunflowers and starfish and butterflies. Even the spokes are pretty cool. It gives a real neat effect with
cool
the sparkles on the spokes.
Yeah, a cool feature of this bike is that the headlight is from a 1938 Dodge truck.
Okay.
So
it's a big headlight, but it's a big bike. This motorcycle is probably
8 feet.
No,
7.5?
no. I'd say it's more like 12. It's does it say?
It doesn't say the length. No.
It doesn't say. I'll bet it's almost 12 feet in length between the back of the back tire to the front of the front.
Yeah, you can turn around and see a huge monster of a bike right here. This is the Chrome King, and it at one point had a lady on it, also painted exactly the way it's painted. So.
And this
lots
bike,
and lots and lots of detail.
This bike has a front tire that is probably 3 foot tall, some really heavy front shocks, plexiglass rim or glass rim. It's that you can see right through it. There are no spokes. The fender comes all the way down to about 4 inches from the ground. The painting on this is just gorgeous. There's a lady with some teardrops riding a dragon. Oh wow, this is just a fantastic bike. It's huge too. It's not as long as what the Allstate bike is.
Yeah.
But it's a very big, masculine looking machine.
It's a Dirty Bird, and it is John Shope's art. Yeah. So.
And this is and he custom made this. And just donated it to the museum?
It's on loan. So
it's
about
on loan.
90% of the bikes in here are on loan, and we own about 10 of them.
Wow. This is
10%
phenomenal. That's an unbelievable bike. And then you've got several others. This El Rey is a really neat looking bike too. It's got a lot of chrome. It's kind of a dark blue. Again, the chopper front end.
Won a lot of awards. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, they're just crazy bikes in here.
They are, and they're all custom made. Everything is just so chromed and so well painted. And now, do you have anything from the Orange City Choppers or who? Since I don't watch TV,
we don't. We have Arlen Ness's bike. I'll show you that when we get down from when they were doing the biker build-offs on the History Channel.
Okay.
So.
And this is an interesting looking chopper. It's got a seat that's all of about 4 inches wide. That had to have been just so comfortable to ride across country.
Yeah. So this is R.J. Powell's, and it is Bernice. And when he built this, it was in his younger years, and he didn't have the money to build it. So he loaned money from his mother. And his mother's the only female that ever rode it. And when he went to pay her, he hadn't got her paid before she passed away, and so her purse with the money that he owed her is still at his shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's got 2 headlights, one above the other, and some pretty long forks. I'll bet those forks are probably 6 foot long, yeah, probably every bit of 6 foot, and real pretty metallic blue. You said it was built in '75. That's what it says. And that kind of would have been the thing at that point in time.
Definitely looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah. Yep. It's another dirty tail right here. Bike.
Again, just lots of chrome, lots of real pretty paint. Again, this one has the big front wheel, but it's got spokes on it.
Tons and tons
of
inlays.
Inlays on like the exhaust pipe, and the exhaust pipe is probably 7 feet long. Just a really cool looking bike, the Dirty Bird. So do they run these at all, or?
So most of them run in the museum. A lot of the ones in this chopper room, our builders will come in and exchange them every year for a different one that they have.
Oh, really? So this is a changing exhibit?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And actually all of it is. We usually have, 10 or so bikes in each room that will rotate in somehow in the year, Somebody's got something.
Well, I'm just looking at all the chrome and everything on that exhaust pipe. And I'm thinking that if it ran very much, that it would start to discolor and do the oil on water kind of thing that pipes do.
This is a Shadley Brothers bike, Cafe Digger.
And it's a real pretty maroon color. And this one here is really interesting. It's
very interesting.
It's a streamliner. It's got a fiberglass shell that kind of encloses it. I'm assuming it's fiberglass. The front fender, the wheel, the awning, everything is all just really, really sleek. You don't see...
It almost looks like a rocket ship or something, or spaceship or something. But it was a style that Arlen Ness took kind of to an extreme. This one is not Arlen's, but it's very much a style that some bike builders had kind of taken on at a certain time.
And then on the walls, you have lots of different paintings and pictures.
Lots of artwork. So this, I mentioned Scott Jacobs. This is a Scott Jacobs right here. That's Scott Jacobs.
The Scott Jacobs has a couple of female bikers with some buffalo in the background and Devil's Tower. Another picture over here, you've got a kid riding a Stingray with Sturgis written on one of the brick walls. And
you see the motorcycle, like he's on a bike, but you see how he...
The reflection coming across, the shadow coming across from his Stingray bicycle is a chopper. But that's the way we all saw our bicycles when we were kids. They were all motorcycles. And Evel Knievel was our hero.
Yeah, he was. This one right over here is a David Ewell, this painting right here.
Okay.
And this is Gloria Stark, and she is turning 100 this year, and she is planning to ride across the United States again one more time.
At 100?
At 100.
And this is a picture of her at a shore someplace, or a beach someplace.
Yeah, and David Ewell is the artist. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame here in 2024. Scott Jacobs was inducted in 2023, so.
Okay.
And then this here is an exhibit on Jessie Combs. Are you familiar with her at all?
I am not.
So there's a movie about her called The Fastest Woman on Earth. She was breaking land speed records. Her record still holds at 522 miles an hour.
On a motorcycle?
Not on a motorcycle, but on 4 wheels. It looks like a jet, kind of. But she was finishing her last lap and unfortunately didn't make it. And so she passed away doing what she loved, so.
Okay.
And set a record.
And she was on a motorcycle while she was doing the record? Or
No, she was on that. But she was a motorcycle builder. She's huge in the industry. But it was on what I say looks like a jet rocket or something.
Okay. Is this the one that was on Mythbusters or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about then.
Yeah. So, but this is her bike.
Now, I didn't know that she was into, I don't have TV, so watching I saw Mythbusters every once in a while at somebody else's house or something, but I know that I had seen her there, but I knew that she had died in a pretty bad land speed crash.
I went to her foundation gala this year, and she has a foundation put together that helps women in the industry go into fields like welding and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Cool.
So her legacy still lives on for sure.
That is good. Okay, and who is Benjamin F. Hardy?
He is he was a Kickstands Down inductee in 2022 into the Hall of Fame.
What's Kickstands Down?
Someone who has passed away.
Okay.
So he got the Kickstands Down award.
I'm beginning to show my ignorance on motorcycles, aren't I?
No. Yeah, I was going to make sure I was right. He's a Harley Davidson motorcycle mechanic and a custom builder, and he was located in California, and he built motorcycles for the movie Easy Rider.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
No, I did see that one.
Yeah. So now we walk into our classic motorcycle room, or our antique motorcycle room, where you'll continue to see artwork on the walls, as well as some displays with ribbons and awards and gypsy jackets and pins, and there's like a thing over here with just tons and tons of belts, and so you'll have.
Who's this artist up above here?
I'm not sure.
There's a whole line of pictures. There's like 7 or 8 pictures that are done in a real unique style. I don't even know how to describe the style, but motorcycles with buffaloes in the background, or Indians and cowboys in the background. I guess it's depicting the Iron Horse.
Yeah.
That'd be the best way to describe it. Is they're riding the Iron Horse with historic South Dakota.
It seems like if you really look at it, they're like riding with him, kind of. Like the cowboy of the olden days riding with a lady on a motorcycle.
You got a stagecoach running as fast as it can through Deadwood, and a guy on a motorcycle riding. This is some interesting artwork. And then down below it, you have a female on an old classic motorcycle sitting at a parking meter with 2 horses tied to it. Again, I guess Iron Horse is the theme.
The theme.
Yeah. That's really interesting artwork. I love it. Wow.
So this 1934 Indian has a few things on it that you might go, what is this and what is this? Well, the gal who lends it to us, she takes it out on the Great Race every year. So she takes it out and then she brings it back in. But this Great Race, you have to do everything by hand and by memory and by whatever. And so she has to put it in how long it takes her to slow down from zero, how long it takes her to go up or slow down from 0 to 20 miles an hour. And she has to count in her head 1,000, and
oh, really?
Because it's all part of the race, yeah.
Yeah, and the Great Race is usually across several states, and I don't know what the cutoff is, but a lot of old antique cars, motorcycles, and all of that kind of stuff take this race every year.
Yep, Kentucky
to
Maine.
This one says Owensboro, Kentucky to Gardner, Maine. So that's a pretty good ride. Probably 1,000 miles or so.
Yeah, on this.
I was on the interstate one time and saw a whole bunch of them going through Arizona or New Mexico or something.
That's cool.
Maybe it was southern Colorado, outdoor by Durango and Mesa Verde.
Yeah.
And they just kept coming. There was probably 50 or 60 of the old cars with the open cockpit, I guess you'd say, with the little windshield and the little glasses and the little leather helmet.
Yeah, so if you're in a car, you have a navigator with you. When you're on a motorcycle, you have to do it all yourself. So,
and this one has a suicide shift. A lot of these have the suicide shift.
This 1952 Indian came from Pappy Hoyle's dealership. So that's one of the ones from the original rally starter.
Okay.
Beautiful Indian. Along with the one with the sidecar, the green one down there is also from his dealership.
Okay. An Indian was a pretty popular motorcycle for a lot of years. So was Triumph, Harley. And the suicide shift that I just mentioned, most motorcycles have a shifter that you shift with your left foot, but back in the day, probably 30s, 40s, they had an actual shifter that looks like a car shifter. So you're running down the road and you had to take your hand off of the steering or off of the handlebars and actually shift like you would a car. And it was kind of dangerous. I guess probably some people didn't make their shift correctly, and that's why they're called suicide shifts. And again, these are all really nicely restored, beautiful bikes.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of them are on loan from different people, and we have that listed on each plaque. As you go through, you can see who restored them, what the owner says about it. And
you've got several leather jackets.
So that's the Jack Pine Gypsies. That's the group that Pappy Hoyle was part of, that started the rally. And we still have a Jack Pine Gypsies track here. And I actually went to the amateur hill climb, and there was a 2-year-old girl hill climbing on a little tiny motorcycle. Yeah, she was so cute.
How'd she do?
She made it maybe 4 or 5 feet up the mountain, but you know.
She did it.
Yeah, so for sure.
The configuration on these motorcycles, as far as the engines and stuff, is just so interesting to look at. You know, a lot of them have the V motors in them, but then you have some like this one over here, this Ace. It's got a straight 4-cylinder engine.
This is a beautiful bike.
Yeah, and the cylinders it sits on the bike from front wheel to back wheel, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of across the front like so many of the Hondas and stuff that we're used to seeing from the 70s that had them going side to side, or like the BMWs. Or
this is a 1922 Ace inline 4, so after selling the original Henderson Motorcycle Company in 1917, William Henderson started a second motorcycle company called Ace, and unfortunately the motorcycle world didn't get to see it very long because he passed away in 1922, but this is definitely gorgeous and not a lot around. So
the thing that's so cool is, just like automobiles of that era, you know, all the cars looked different. They all had different features, and there wasn't 2 manufacturers. There was 100 manufacturers. And now we're down to, you've got 5 manufacturers of motorcycles, you've got 5 manufacturers of cars.
Yeah, you got
everything.
Guys, yeah.
Everything's all consolidated, and you don't have I don't think you have the innovation and the styling and all that, because you've taken all that away by sticking it all into the same thing.
I think when guys started building their own and, you know,
right,
modifying it and making it what they wanted to make into. This was just built last year, this room. It is a 1920s era motorcycle shop, and everything in here is in the correct era, except for there's 1 thing or 2 things that time traveled, we say in here, that don't belong in here. And so we always have fun asking people if they know what doesn't belong in here.
And I'm supposed to figure this out.
Well,
I see ratchet straps.
Yeah, well,
ratchet
those
straps don't go here.
Yep.
But they're what's holding the bike on the platform.
And then all of these tools are in the correct era, but these gas tanks are 1940s, and so they time traveled in here. But this room was brought to us by a McGraw Foundation grant. And that's McGraw-Hill that does the children, you know, the books, the learning.
Okay.
And so we're bringing some education on what it would look like if you lived in the 1920s, including the fact that in order to open the window, you'd have to take out a screw and, you know, then screw it back in. So
that's funny.
Yeah, this is way cool.
So, yeah.
And then as we come on around the corner, oh, we've got the old, what would I want to call that? The motorcycle of its day, the Honda Step Through 90.
It's it is the son of Pappy Hoyle, Jack Hoyle. That's his picture of him.
Okay.
He rode it up Bearview Mountain, and we believe he's probably one of the only people that rode a motorcycle up Bearview Mountain, but Butte Mountain.
It looks like a heck of a ride. It looks like it's all shale and nasty. But those old Step Through 90s were quite the motorcycle in their day. They sold lots of them, and they've started remaking them. My son was just showing me that Honda has started making them again, and they're really not that expensive, but they were super popular through the 60s and 70s, and
well, this one's, you can tell, somebody's had fun with it.
Yeah, and it was the first motorcycle that I really rode, and the first motorcycle that I really crashed, and I've got a scar just underneath my eye to prove it because I hit a brick wall with it.
Oh, brother. So these two motorcycles over here, one's in 1916 and one's in 1914. They're both Harley Davidsons, and they're both painted in the silent gray color that they had in those days. So this was kind of the color, and these are on loan from Charlie and Tony Gilmore, and he restored them as perfect as you can possibly be. They're like 99.7 and one's 99.6 or 9.
Wow.
And the only reason that they're not 100 is that they can't be. There's a part that doesn't fit right, so they can't. But
well, and where do you find tires from 1916 that are still available?
We're gonna have to call Charlie someday and figure that out.
That's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when did Harley Davidson start as a motorcycle company? Not really sure.
Yeah.
What about some of these others, like Indian? Who was first online? Do you know that?
No, we need to look that up. We need to find that out.
Okay. We probably don't really need to. It's just one of those, I'm looking at 1916, but I know the airplane was 1903, and they had automobiles back in the late 1800s. I'm just wondering kind of when we got started.
1903 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Was when Harley Davidson. Now what about Triumph? and Indian? Or who was the first one, Linda? If you can look that one up.
This is a 1952 Vincent Black Shadow. So this bike is rare, and people are wanting this. And we say that this is probably one of the rarest or most expensive bikes, one of them in our museum.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Now, I haven't really heard of the Vincent.
Yeah, so I can tell you a little bit here. It just says, after purchasing the Harley Davidson Company in 1928, Philip Vincent added his name to the motorcycles.
So it's a subdivision of Harley Davidson.
He was an engineer, yep. And so Mr. Vincent produced some of the most innovative and highly qualified constructed bikes. And then they created the Black Shadow, which is the black, and added some more features to it, and it is really one of the most coveted classics in the world.
Wow.
And the guy who owned it is from around here, and he used it out on his ranch, taking hay out to the cattle and driving all over. So
isn't that just crazy?
Yeah.
But it was in its day, it was a utility vehicle or whatever. Okay, it says that German inventors Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach are credited with building the first motorcycle, the Daimler Reitwagen, in 1885.
1885.
So.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Behind you here is a cream-colored Harley Davidson that was built for the 50th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
And she says it's white. It's white and gold. This is a beautiful bike. All of the hydraulic lines, like for the brakes, the hydraulic clutch, the push rod covers, the other covers, the oil covers, and all of that are all in a gold color or bronze. and the rest of the bike is white. It is a beautiful bike, and on the side it says Sturgis 50 for the love of the sport. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me in some weird way of like, oh my gosh, this seat reminds me of Elvis Presley for some reason.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why. It just somehow it like feels Elvis Presley-ish. So maybe it's the color.
Studs all over it.
Yeah, because he didn't wear cream pants. I don't know. It just reminded me of
And were there several of these made as commemorative models,
No,
or this was the only
It's a
one?
custom-made one, yeah.
This is custom made just for the
Custom
50th
chrome, yep.
anniversary. Wow. And here's 1927 Harley Davidson. Looks like it's seen better days.
Well,
but,
it has been
wow.
modified for racing. They did a whole bunch of work. The current owner had wanted it. He had seen it down the street or down the road, and had kept saying, "Is it for sale? Is it for sale?" And finally, he got it. And yeah, and so if you look at this thing, you'll see that the front cylinder is removed, and the crank case is blocked off. Then the engine was lifted forward for the air and for airflow, and the rear cylinder became vertical.
Okay.
So he just
So
they did a lot of.
it's just a one cylinder, but it comes back into a sprocket that's fairly good size that necks down into another sprocket that comes into the sprocket on the back wheel that's bigger size.
And it looks like it's been sitting out in the rain because it is just rusted, but it still runs.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I'll bet with the gearing that
Charlie
it's got.
that owns those bikes also owns this one.
Okay. Wow. It's a cool looking bike.
And we've got some clothing. The only thing that we have of Evel Knievel's in the museum is a signed. It's a little signature there, but.
Now we did do the Evel Knievel Museum in Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah.
But they're moving that to
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah, which is really kind of disappointing, and I guess maybe more people will see it in Vegas.
Yeah.
But the whole story as to why it was in Topeka was a lot of fun. You got to go back and listen to the podcast just
I
because.
will. One of our board members has some investment into that museum, so I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, it's a fun story.
Yeah.
As to why it's in Topeka.
So this museum, this back part, there's an addition that we were in, is actually an old bank. It was built in 1937.
Okay.
And I always love to tell people this story when we stand right here, because you see the old safe.
Right.
And you see this very old elevator. It's beautiful, but it's but one of the things that I think is the most interesting about this place is that through this back door is the postmaster's office, or was.
Okay.
And there's a ladder that looks kind of like this one that goes up the ceiling, and you can get up here, and you see those slots up there.
Right.
That's where the security guards would sit with their pistols.
Oh, really?
So there's like there's like 3 little sections with like little spots where they would sit and
be able to protect the bank.
the post office. But you can imagine in the
post
1930s what was going through the post office.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I always think that's so interesting.
Yeah, that is cool.
It is. Okay, and then you've got a Honda.
Yep, a 1980 Honda Goldwing.
Is that a Japanese Harley? I'm sorry.
But you know, this is the cruising bike. People remember having this. They just love these Goldwings.
I remember when they first came out. Well, they were 1100 cc's, I think, when they first came out.
This one is the first year that they were fully made.
I knew a guy that had one, and it was just unbelievable because most of the big bikes at the time were like 750s and 950s or something, and to have an 1100 cc bike was just like, wow.
And then you can see who the owner did some kind of fun little
Custom
works to it. Yeah. Customized it.
Some engravings on
These next two, this one here, are both Sturgis editions, Harley David Sturgis editions. This is Willie G. Davidson that signed this.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. And he is owner of the company, the CEO of the company?
Not
or-
anymore. The company's been sold, but
Yeah,
he
there was a big
yeah.
there was a big to do over
Yeah.
over management
Yeah,
of this last
but
rally. From
He's
what
still
I
around.
understand.
He's still alive, but up there in years.
Huh. Lots and lots of cool bikes. So, do they do every year a commemorative bike? Does somebody do that on commission or?
The Harley Davidson gives the city of Sturgis 2 bikes every year. Two rally bikes every year. So they're different. It just kind of depends on what they decide to do.
And then do they auction those off or?
They do, or they donate them to people like us, or
Okay.
like that. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And what is this Velocette? Velocette? Thruxton, 1969.
It's from Great Britain.
Great Britain. And it outlasting the BSA Gold Star. Okay, I know a guy that collects the BSAs and restores them. Beautiful bikes also. Okay.
And we're going to head downstairs to our other section, unless there's something up here that you want to.
No, this has been great.
Okay.
We're going to go down into the belly of the bank or the post office.
We could have tried to ride the elevator down and see.
And as we're coming through here, we're looking at all kinds of pictures from the rally on the walls from different competitions. Just lots of cool pictures here. Photograph pictures.
So one of the big deals during the rally is the Hall of Fame breakfast. So it happens on the Wednesday morning of the rally.
Okay.
And somewhere between 5 and 11 people are inducted every year. And so we have kind of a collage wall here of all the past inductees. This here was Gloria Struck that you saw upstairs in that painting.
Okay.
Yep.
This is really interesting because you've got guys that look like bikers and you got guys that look like bankers.
Yeah.
and some that look like lawyers and others that look like hoodlums.
We have almost 300 inductees into the Hall of Fame. I was just going to show you that this was our last year's Hall of Fame induction. So these are the folks that got in there last year. So
And what do you got to do to get inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, first they need to be nominated. So you'll nominate them on our website, and somebody can definitely do this if they're listening to us and they know of somebody they want to nominate, and get your buddies to nominate them, whatever. And then we have a group, including our board members, who sit down in January and make the decisions on who's going to be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame. And so we have some different classifications. We have your traditional Hall of Fame, and we have then we also have freedom fighters. So that's like the Motorcycle Riders Association or ABATE of South Dakota,
Okay.
or ABATE of wherever. That can be inducted as a freedom fighter, somebody who fights for the rights of motorcyclists. Then we have the Arlen Ness Lifetime Achievement, which means you had to have been in the museum once already into the Hall of Fame, and you've made a lifetime change, to
Okay.
something. And then the kickstands down that we talked about upstairs. So
Okay. Wow.
yeah. So you'll see here we've got
Okay. A whole bunch of
So
people, and you kind of give their life stories.
right,
and
Roger
what they've
Goldhammer is
done
a
and-
bike builder out of Canada. Ed Kerr, bike builder. Christine and Bob LaPera do LaPera seats. They make
Oh, okay.
custom seats. This is David Ewell, the painter upstairs. That
Okay.
James Gunny Gregory started the Run for the Wall. Do you know what that is?
No.
So vets get together and they start in California and they run all the way to DC for
Okay.
the wall and raise money and awareness for veterans. Pete Hill, motorcycle racer. You're going to see some bikes that he raced in a little bit. Lifetime. Jiggs Cressy was president of South Dakota ABATE. And then last, Bud Eakins was the stunt double in some races, in some TV films.
The Steve McQueen
Yeah.
stunts and wow. How cool is that? And so every year, do you take these plaques and put them on a different wall so that everybody can see who these were, or they just kept in a file?
Yeah, these will go to the individual. So Jigs
Okay.
Cressy will get his plaque when it's done up here, and then they go onto the wall, and then they go onto the
Okay.
picture.
So they get their name on the wall, but the plaque that has all of their achievements goes to them.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
So we head into our first room, and it is sort of dedicated to the motor maids. The motor maids
Motor maids.
are a female group, that their first female riding group that started in the mid 30s and still going strong today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a club, or
Yeah, mhm.
or okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that's just what they called female
Oh, no.
bikers.
Yeah. But I did want to point this out to you. This motorcycle over here named Pearl was, instead of a wedding ring, Our Lady Katie got a wedding motorcycle, and his is black. It looks just like it, so it's a his and hers. This one's pearl colored, and his is black.
How disappointing to get a motorcycle instead of a ring.
No. And then the seats were made out of old Gucci bags.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is too cool. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We step in here these are 3 female racers. We've got Jody Perowitz, and then we've got Keith Ball's bike that was ridden. And then we've got over here Danielle Beving's race bike. She was the first gal in South Dakota to race.
Okay. And that looks more like an endurance or
Flat track.
flat track.
Yep.
Okay. And then this one here was
This
over
Jody-
200 miles an hour. She holds 16 current land speed records. Wow. And then this one here was on the Salt Flats, racer Valerie Thompson. And it's got her riding a salt shaker on the gas tank.
So Keith has several racing bikes, and he names them all with the word salt first, like assault weapon,
Okay.
salt shaker,
Okay.
for racing on the
the Salt
Bonneville Salt
Flats.
Flats, yeah.
We went to the Bonneville Salt Flats last year, and
It didn't go, did it?
It did. We had to leave before they started racing, but they had massive rains.
Yeah, I was
And
to say it wasn't a good
It
year.
was really an interesting thing because they went out on the salt on Monday. They said that they were probably going to be racing on Tuesday. Went out on the salt on Monday, and the first mile and a half was under about a foot of water.
Yeah.
And so we were driving through water. We got out to where the track was, and everything was kind of wet but dry enough to race on Tuesday. We went out Tuesday morning to go see the races, and all that water had moved a mile and a half, and you had a foot of water down where the track
Wow.
was, and the front part was dry.
Yeah.
And it was like, can wind really move that much water that far, that
Yeah.
fast? It was just a
Yeah, that's interesting.
really interesting thing. But
Keith took a bike out this year. My husband actually went out with him, but Keith, the owner of this bike, took one out this year and won another championship or another time. Yep.
Wow. And so the races were good this year.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
I should have gone this year instead
Right?
of last year.
Right? We're walking in here to our military room. We've got 2 different bikes. The first one is your traditional 1943 Indian military scout. They were super durable, not so fast, but like you couldn't break them, And then the other one, I think this is really cool. So this is the USS South Dakota, and it was commissioned by the state of South Dakota from Harley, or Harley commissioned it to be done. And anybody who was on the ship or serves on the ship now is a member of the plank, can come and check this out. It's their bike.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
so-
they can check it out and ride it?
Yep.
And this was a submarine. The USS South Dakota was a submarine. Because you've got submarine pictures and all
Yeah,
of that.
and it's just gorgeous. If you see this out in the light, it just is so beautiful. 2018 Harley Davidson.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how many people have taken advantage of that?
So since I've been here, it's left like 3 times, but it's not always left just to go ride. Sometimes it goes to a parade. Sometimes it goes to another museum, you know.
Okay.
But if you, there's a foundation, and you have to, of course, get a hold of them and say, I'm so-and-so, I'm on the list, and they've got to make sure you have your motorcycle license and all that, but.
That you've ridden once before?
Yeah, you've never ridden before, but yeah, you can take it.
Well, now this is an interesting display. These are steel shoes that I'm sure for the flat track racing.
For any, yep.
And they're steel so that when you run your foot on the gravel or whatever, they're slick and give your feet some protection.
So you can see here on this one how she's dragging that, pretty much that foot is going around the racetrack.
Wow. She's got it welded, reinforced, welded again. You talk about a steel-toed shoe.
Right?
Wow. Then you've got some old racing helmets. Those old leather helmets had to have really protected you a lot in a crash.
They're cool looking though.
Yeah, they are cool looking, but I just can't imagine them doing much for concussion.
Yeah. We've just got just display a couple of different kinds of racing bikes, dirt race bikes. And then right over here, we talked about Scotty Parker and Jerry Meese upstairs. Uh-huh. This is Scotty Parker's bike. This is the one that was in that painting.
Okay.
And you see it still has dirt and everything on it. Uh-huh. We're not allowed to wash that off because that's the 9th race. That's his 9th championship on there.
We went to the Corvette Museum, and they've got a Corvette in there that's got all the staining and the bugs and everything else on it from its race, and they said kind of the same thing. It was not allowed to be washed. Yeah. We've got some leathers over here that are this one happens to be Richie Morris, his riding leathers, but you can see he's kind of worn them out a little bit. Yeah, that looks like they've been well used.
Fallen down a time or two. And that display right there is Scotty Parker's. We kind of got a room here for our TT racing, our flat track racing. I didn't turn this on, but it spins. And this is a 1967 Honda. And in that time, Honda almost took over Harley and Indians. They got scared. Because what they did is they built this beautiful little bike, and then they said, you meet the nicest people on a Honda. And it like blew up, and everyone wanted a Honda. And I would love to have that Honda.
I was going to say, the Honda Dream was well, and what do you do with a name like Dream?
I know. You meet the nicest people on a Honda.
Yeah, and a neighbor of mine when I was growing up had a Honda Dream, and he was always talking about it. Never saw him ride it. It was always in his garage. But he was always talking about what a great bike it was. They were like a 305 or something, weren't they? Yep. Yeah. They were kind of a sleek-looking bike. They weren't quite as open and stuff as.
And you could feel like you could run to the store with it, or you could feel like you could. So, yeah. And then here we have some some, again, like I said, some examples of dirt bikes, but we've got some, like this one's from Germany. Mako, and then this Bull Taco over here is from, I think, Spain. And this is a Spain, the Osa. And then this guy is just, everyone goes, oh, I had one of those when I was a kid.
Right, just a Honda. Yeah.
350, but yeah.
Yep. And these here are all pretty much 70s, I guess, maybe early 80s.
2000.
You got a 2000 Triumph TT60, 600.
And then our last room is the drag race bikes.
Holy smokes.
So remember when I mentioned Pete Hill over here? Well, Bonnie Truitt was a builder that built this guy, this one, and this one. Look at the four.
Wow.
And Pete Hill raced these true drag bikes.
Now the one that she's talking about is called Hog Power 2, and it's got two Harley Davidson engines in it that are the opposed cylinders, along with a double set of chains on the a sprocket with a chain going around each motor, and then it goes back into a clutch that looks like it's belt drive to the back. But it's a long bike and looks like it would be outrageously fast. But I wonder how you tune the motors to get both those sprockets spinning exactly the same. That's got to be kind of a engineering nightmare or tuning nightmare. And then this one here, the General Lee. How fast were these things going?
You know, I did look him up. I can't say this.
Top speed on this one, quarter mile was 7.85 seconds at 175 miles
I was going to say
an hour.
182.
Holy smokes. That is just unbelievable. You know, the land speed stuff, 350 miles an hour on a motorcycle, you'd think that you'd just be flopping in the wind, hanging on for dear life.
This one too has been signed by all the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, really?
The general,
Yeah. Huh. And you've got Ironhead Express, and it was doing 140 miles an hour, quarter mile is 10.39. These here just look more, this one looks more like a street bike, but what, does it have its quarter mile speeds? I don't see them on the... This bike was first built in 1980 for race applications only. It's a Pro Street XL, 90 cubic inch. Wow. And you've got some really nice pictures, paintings of...
yeah, these are Scott Jacobs again, right here. Yep.
And then you've got commemorative beer cans.
Because why not, right?
Why not? Well, you probably ought to.
Yep.
Wow, this is great. It's a lot of fun looking at all the different variations that they have on these motorcycles from the very beginning all the way on up through.
Yeah.
And different little innovations and little twists to the way the exhaust pipes and the carburetors are set up and all of that. It's quite the variety. So you guys are open?
So during the summer hours, so Memorial Day to Labor Day, we're open 9 to 5 every day.
Every day.
And then in the winter hours, which is sometime in October to Memorial Day, we are open on, we're open from 10 to 4 and we're closed on Sunday and Mondays.
Okay. And what's the admission rate?
It is $14 for adults and $5 for children, 5 to 15, and then free for children under. And then we have military discount and senior discount as well.
Okay. And you've got a website. The directions are easy to find. You're right downtown.
We're on the corner of Junction and Main, and I heard one of our board members says we are in. If you took a pin and you were way out in the universe and you said, "Where's the Mecca of motorcycle community?" you would come all the way into the corner of Junction and Main, right here, because that is right where the rally is. You know.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And this is a great museum. It's easy to find. You've got quite a bit of parking. I noticed that there was lots of parking out there that was only 3 foot wide for motorcycles.
Wonder why.
I don't know, but that was really nice. And this has been great. I appreciate you opening up on a Monday because we are now into winter hours. You're closed, but you're here. And
but I'm here.
So are we.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm glad we were able to make it work. So anyway, I like to close out my podcast by saying the world is full of wonder. And if you have any wonder about motorcycles, this is the place to be.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
And everybody have an absolutely wonder-filled day.
Ta-da.
Awesome.